If I were to get questions about my culture, I would be able to explain the basics, but I would never fully know.
Yeah.
And I really struggled with that for a while, especially when I got friends that were from that country.
For myself, it makes sense just to say that I'm Congolese because I have more from Congo, not just because my parents or I born there, but the fact that I spend more time in that region, that community, I have more to share with people there than here. And here, everything is something that I'm learning.
Yeah. The fact that I didn't look like everyone else, yet that's all I knew. All I knew was Dutch culture and like maybe like tidbits of the Filipino culture, while I would still get chastised or like set apart from the rest. Hi, I'm Michelle and I'm with
Lucien Michelle, and welcome to episode 3 of Opinions and Perspective, the Invectus podcast.
Yeah.
Well, such a journey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 episodes already. How do you feel about that so far?
Honestly, like it was really fun. It's still really fun. Why I don't know why I used past tense. It's just been a while.
Yeah.
You know, but I do enjoy like the narrowing down on certain topics that I don't really think about much.
Yeah.
But today we're talking about a very interesting subject that I have thought about.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Credit to Michelle. Yeah.
Let's go. No, we're talking about cultural identity. I don't know why I keep slipping on that word.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And what is it about?
Well, how I personally defined it. It's a combination of your practices, how you define yourself through your culture. Let's say.
Yeah, culture, yeah.
And that also includes things like religion, just how you do your day-to-day things.
If one would ask you what is your culture, how do you define your cultural identity, or where do you belong to?
Interesting. Yeah.
Which one do you think that it is hard for you to?
For me, it's the where, definitely, because growing up with two cultures, not that I'm bicultural, but it's mostly because
technically that's what it means, right?
I grew up bicultural, yes, but like my ethnicity is essentially Filipino, and that's what I got like a 50-50 of both. Dutch. We live in the Netherlands. Both Dutch and Filipino. Yeah. But to me, it's like I kind of struggle with where I would define myself. Not that I have to, but if I had to think about it, it's kind of like I wouldn't be able to section myself off.
For me, it's like every time that I get a question about what is your culture, your afkomst, as you guys you say in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
That one is very hard for me to answer because I'm Congolese, living in the Netherlands, which is completely different to what we have in Congo. And in Congo, we have 4 regions, and they are based on languages. So we have 4 languages, that's national languages in Congo. At the same time, we have 500 ethnicities. It's
crazy.
not just a random number. We have 400 plus ethnicities, languages, and I can call them cultures. Because they have a culture is defined by belief, practices, custom, and history. Yeah, all these 500, they are defined by all these 4 elements that constitute what culture is. So every time that I get the question that what is my culture, for a second or maybe a few seconds, I don't know what to answer.
Yeah, because you'd have to like...
How do you answer actually for yourself when they ask you what is your afkomst?
Me? I mean, like, obviously, I'm not, I don't look Dutch. So when someone asks me, like, oh, where do you come from? I do explain, like, I was born here, but I am Filipino. Because, like, essentially, when someone asks me, like, where do you come from? Yeah. And I say just Dutch, they're going to be like, okay, but where are you really
How would you
from,
feel if you say, for example, I am from Amsterdam? Because technically that is what you are,
true.
right?
I was born there, yeah. Okay, yeah. Outside of the house, I grew up with like Dutch culture. Yeah. But I've never really felt like I fully belong there. Yeah. My comfort zone is usually like inside the house with family. But for a while, I did very much push push my culture away
Yeah.
because I felt like I needed to belong here.
Yeah.
And when I realized I was never going to be 100% like Dutch and whatever, I just started like embracing my Filipino-ness, let's say, and like relearning the language, yada yada yada. So I don't feel like I would define it by like boundaries, like this is a city or a country, because it's essentially what I grew up with at home for me.
Yeah.
But I know that you guys, like, because like if you were to introduce yourself, you would say you're Congolese, but you have told me that there's so much more to that. So I do understand why you would probably see it in a more like city like, or like more like, let's say, area wise.
Yeah,
is that
but
a better way to put it?
yeah. Because I'm thinking for myself, it makes sense just to say that I'm Congolese because I have more from Congo, not just because my parents or I born there, but the fact that I spend more time in that region, that community, I have more to share with people there than here. And here, everything is something that I'm learning.
Yeah.
But then putting myself, for example, in the shoe of someone who born and grew up here, it might be different, right?
Yeah. I think because like when I was a kid, I actually didn't speak any Dutch until
Interesting.
Yeah.
How come?
I grew up with Tagalog, so our national language in the Philippines, and English, because that's what we spoke at home. And it wasn't until I had to go to school from my, like, I think it was from when I was 4-ish, I started picking up on the Dutch language. And during my elementary school years, I would get kind of like not per se bullied, but more like kind of teased that I didn't speak the language. And then, of course, like as a kid, you think, okay, well, so this is giving me negative feedback, so I'm gonna completely push that away and find a different path.
Yeah.
And I kept it that way until I was like, I'd say 12-ish, because then I noticed like family from the Philippines started coming in and their English wasn't that good, and I noticed that I couldn't communicate well with them and with my grandparents. So that's where it kind of started to bubble up, like, hey, like I did grow up with like a bunch of these customs, and I can't really connect with the thing that makes me look like this, you know. And it wasn't until I met friends from the Philippines, and that had to integrate here. So like it was kind of like a two-way street. I was learning from them, they were learning from me, and like I found a middle ground. I didn't completely push away like my Dutch identity, let's say, because I know that's very much a part of me, but it's still like now I'm still way more weaved into my Filipino background, because essentially that's what I see most these days. And I wonder how that is for you though. Like, have you ever had that type of feeling?
Yeah. But then when you are new here, like when you first come to the Netherlands, you the way I see it is like Dutch becomes a way of integrating in the new society.
Yeah.
You will never, whatever you do, that is how I would feel. You will never feel Dutch. You might have everything like 100% on paper Dutch.
Yeah.
But the Congolese you in you will be just
no, please take me out.
Maybe just screaming out.
Yeah.
And I think like you have different societies. You have societies that once you come in, they expect you to integrate, and integration for them means that you become what the society is.
True.
And the Dutch society is a little bit different to that. It's more a society where they promote more diversity. They expect you to come in with your value, with the plus that you have from you, and to contribute to the culture.
Yeah.
Because we are talking about our different identities, but I realized that if one would ask, what is the Dutch culture?
Dude, I think how I explained it to people, I would probably say the typical stuff first. So things like, oh yeah, like windmills, pretty houses, haring, stumbled, very like nice people.
Yeah.
And like they're very much welcoming for the most part. Not all. Not all.
Yeah, but generally, yes.
But yeah, that's what I would say. But then you also have like the differences in where you want to integrate. So, for example, Amsterdam is very much city life and whatever. But I think what all of the areas in this country have in common is that they love their bars.
Yeah.
Like they love bars and they love traditional music. And not traditional as in like folk, but traditional as in screaming to Andre Hazes, you know? Like that kind of stuff. But I think I've actually thought about like what is Dutch culture even?
And maybe that is even the culture.
They used to be very much welcoming. But since now most of the country is like very diverse, let's say, a lot of the Dutch have tried to push it away a little because they feel like they're losing their culture. And it is kind of true. Yeah. You are kind of losing the essence of the Dutch by constantly inviting diversity. But I personally think that it's not bad because in every culture you learn stuff. And like you learn ways of living, you learn common practices, how to speak to people. So I feel like you can't avoid globalization, especially nowadays. Like it's so easy to get from one place to another. I feel like I understand them pushing it back, but I also feel like they shouldn't in a way, because at the end of the day, if your cultural identity is that fragile, then how much did you define yourself?
Yeah. Do you think like globalization is the future of culture?
Of course, it's like impossible to completely diminish every single culture to one. Yeah. Like I don't feel like that is ever possible, because at the end of the day, societies are still built by groups of people. And it will, like, the world as a whole is like basically impossible to completely integrate on one level. But I feel like globalization is definitely like it's gonna progress to a point where everyone does follow the same norms and values. It's just like how, for example, all of us know that we need to greet each other with hello or something. Like some things
like
are
for
gonna
example,
be...
now is English in the world.
Yeah,
wherever
exactly.
you go,
everyone
you expect
speaks English.
someone to speak English.
Exactly.
And but how do you feel about that?
In a way, I do feel kind of sad about it, let's say.
Out of nostalgia or what?
That would be so funny. It's like, oh my gosh, like I'm the culture and the culture is me. No, no, I do feel kind of sad about it because I can see it in my in like the Philippines. I want to say home country. I wasn't born there. I can't say that, but
it's still home country.
Yeah, I'd say like home country in a way. I can see it there because we've been victims of colonization. Yeah, like we've had countries like just really warp us.
I can relate.
Yeah, so it's in a way like the Tagalog is really dying down because also everyone is trying to leave the country, and you can see that in the country. It's also very much you're superior if you speak English, if you don't look Filipino, if you do this, do that. But once someone praises a Filipino, then they're like, yeah, they did pride, you know. And I feel like it's super contradicting. It's kind of ugly to see that you're pushing away everything that should be defining you as a Filipino. Yet once someone praises a Filipino, all of a sudden you are, you know. But I wonder how that is in Congo, like how. Like, is it to the same level?
It is similar, but the reality is a little bit different because Congo is very big. So already we have 500 sub-languages, dialects. Yeah. And out of those 500, for example, it is normal for me to not speak the same language as the rest of the big family. Yeah. Because they also have a dialect there that they speak, and it's also a culture. Like in Congo, if you ask me what is my culture, it will be that one. Yep. I don't know if you get what I mean. Why?
Kind of. It's like a very abstract
like
thing to me.
For example, out of the 500, mine is Bashi. They call them Bashi. It's a tribe that is in the eastern Congo, and there they have their language, Mashi.
Yeah.
Customs, like if I need to get married, it will be in that culture, like in the practice of that culture. You will not say like Congolese culture. So it will be that culture. If we lose someone, we will do funeral in that culture. So everything is based on that culture. But then I cannot speak any word from that culture, from that language, from that culture. And where I born, the common language is Kiswahili. That is the regional language in that area, because we have 4 regions, if you remember. And that region, the main language is Kiswahili. Kiswahili that they don't only speak in Congo. Already in Congo, they speak it in about 6 provinces, which is really big. Multiple cultures. Only in that one province, you have maybe 30 tribes.
Oh.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah. So you share Kiswahili in the big city, but in villages, this one is Mushi, this one is Murega, this one is Mubembe.
We have similar things,
They are different, and they have then different customs, different practices, different beliefs. When you go to the province level, then you have Kiswahili. But Kiswahili is not a culture. It's just a common language that we have. But people like me, who born in the city, you will not learn about the customs. You will hear about the customs. Like, hey, you are from this big city, but we have our village, and we do like that. So you see that it's not like something that you experience directly, but you experience it indirectly.
There's more of a risk in between.
It's something that you don't even know. You don't even know how to practice by yourself. But you learn like, hey, Bashi, they do like this. Bashi, they cannot say this. You learn like that, but you don't have a direct contact with that culture, because the only possibility for you is to go to the village. And then you go to school, or you start working, and you go in professional and academic life in the same city. I'm not even talking about the national level. And there you meet people from different states, different provinces, different. So it's become even more like, than your own culture. And the language there is French, because French is our official language.
Of course,
So there, in the same person like me, I am Mushi, like this stuff that you learn in your family, that Bashi, they do like this and this and this, and in case there is something big, you will do like that. But at the same time, I'm someone from the city, like you said, I'm Amsterdamese, which is also another way of defining yourself. I am more like that, because when you grew up in the city, you will have the way of speaking. Like your life will be like from urban area, so from the city. So I am more like that than someone from the village, because, for example, I don't practice the religion of my tribe. I will be Christian. But still, I am Christian, and they teach you that you can go to school, but you're still Mushi. You can be Christian, but you're still Mushi.
Oh my God.
The only problem, they contradict each other. Because in one, they will tell you that, Jesus is the savior and whatever. You go back, they say like, okay, we also have ancestors. But you cannot pray them because you are Christian. And your parents, they have to teach both.
Oh, what the heck? But then how do you manage that? Let's say, because like now you're constantly living in between 2 contradicting cultures. Like, how do you...
Not only 2, like 3.
Multiple, But like, how do you like weave them together to make them comfortable for you?
You have 3 ways. The first one is like you learn everything from the modern. Let's say one is modern culture, one is traditional culture. By traditional, I don't mean past. I mean just the original that was there. And then the 3 ways is like, one, you just embrace the modern one and you don't give any care about the traditional one. You just live like someone from the city, someone who went to school. That is the case for many kids that born nowadays. They cannot even speak Kiswahili. They speak French. Because that is their first language is French. The parents, when they get together, because they will be from my generation, and they are like, hey, that's Kiswahili is also traditional. let's go just for French, you know. And then you will have them being more modern. And there are some people, they are just conservative. They are traditional. You will learn, you will go to school, but they don't want that city stuff. They will go back like every holiday. They go back to village. They learn more. They integrate more. They get initiated to life there. But you also have people like me. You take from both. And I think that is what I could recommend to someone who find themselves in that situation. I know a lot about my culture. I would say I'm even conservative about my culture. You know a little bit about that. But at the same time, I am also modern because I went to school. I did good schools. You know how critical I am. How open-minded I am. You know, like I am really open to learn from other culture, from other beliefs, from other religion to take from them. Sometimes it is really shocking for my culture. Like, hey, you are Mushe, but you are dressing up like this, or you are saying something like this, or you are doing something like this. It will always create that clash. But some people, they are just in between like me. You just live both because they are both parts of you, of who you are. And I think that gives me peace because I know, for example, I know everything about, for example, the religious practice in my culture, but still I am Christian. So I just live with it like that. I know that it is important. It's part of the culture. I protect it in my way because if I have a kid, for example, I will want them to know about my culture, to know about this culture, to learn from it and to do whatever they want to do with it. Maybe they will be more modern. For them, it is even double because then they are Dutch and then modern Congolese and traditional one. And they get offered this option.
Well, the thing is, like, I did grow up with like Filipino customs but I did grow up with like the food. I grew up in a community with just Filipinos. So I knew how Filipino people do things. Like we still eat with our hands and that kind of stuff. But it came to a point where when I really pushed it away, and that was during my elementary school / high school, that I was struggling with the fact that I didn't look like everyone else, yet that's all I knew. All I knew was Dutch culture and like maybe like tidbits of the Filipino culture, while I would still get chastised or like set apart from the rest. If I were to get questions about my culture, I would be able to explain the basics, but I would never fully know. And I really struggled with that for a while, especially when I got friends that were from that country, when they would talk about their experiences there. And then slowly I started kind of warming up to the idea. I started speaking the language more. It opened the box that I really tried to close as a kid. Because like when I was a kid, I would tell my parents like, why don't we speak Dutch at home? Like we're supposed to be speaking Dutch. We live in the Netherlands. And until now I get bullied for it by my family. And now I actually notice that I don't speak Dutch at home anymore at all.
Was it difficult for you?
Really was though. Because like I didn't feel like I belonged in either. But I felt like that was too negative of a way to think about it. So I just decided I belong to both because at the end of the day, that's true. If I can't live my life fully Dutch because I know that there are still differences in the way I think, the way I do things, the way things in the house are, like rules and that kind of stuff. I don't want to say that I don't belong to either because that's not true. Okay, I can eat with my hands, but I can also do like a casual wine on a terrace in Amsterdam. Like, oh, sue me.
It's just part of you.
Yeah. So I don't know. I found comfort in the way that I belong to both.
How do you feel about next generation?
The next generation?
Of yours?
For my Filipino sides, kind of scared. For my Dutch sides, I think they'll be fine. But I do feel like they're going to struggle with the same thing. Because at the end of the day, what they see on the outside is completely different from what they see inside of the household. And they're going to be exactly like me, being like, No, I guess I'm Filipino, I guess, but they would only probably just take the positive sides of Filipino culture and like try to like mix it in with the Dutch.
Yeah. If you have to lose elements from your culture,
interesting question.
Which one you wouldn't want to lose?
Definitely don't want to lose in the culture would probably be like either the community support. It has its pros and cons, but I know that if you're in a Filipino community and you behave well in there, when you have a problem, a lot of people feel inclined to fix it for you. So it's like you're never really alone because you always have a community. It's either that or the food, because the food is so good, dude. I'm going to ask the same question to you because it is a very interesting aspect of your culture is one that you would not want to let go.
You know, the Congolese vibe. No, I don't mean food. I don't mean like beliefs, culture, you know. But Congolese, they dance, they sing.
Oh, it's like
they bring the vibe. Like they are, even when they suffer, the way they cry is. Have you ever seen like a community in which people are crying in rhythm?
Like your tears start falling.
They coordinate it. They are very resilient. Maybe, you know, always the concept of invectors and all the message that I bring. Congolese people, they are really resilient. I think without that resilience, we wouldn't have the country that we have now. Sometimes we have shitty politicians. They're not doing that much. Or I'm not naming. I'm not naming, but I mean, sometimes you have, whether in your region, in your province, or like wherever in national level, you have really bad people that oppress civilians, population, instead of helping them. But still you will have people happy. Not happy because of out of naivety, but happy because of just their way of being. They will be singing, you know, it is this country that you recognize from music, from dance. It's not like they are superficial. You know some Congolese, one.
I know exactly one.
You know how smart they can be, how serious they can be, dedicated. But still they have this vibe. Congo should be one of the countries you need to visit once at least in your life.
I've been so stuck in like my own culture, especially like Asian culture. I kind of like shut myself off from other cultures because I'm like, oh, this is what I know. But now that I have conversations about different cultures, but y'all food looks good.
You should try. You should try.
I find it actually, the whole cultural identity thing was mostly like I just like to learn about cultures at this point. You know, like I feel like we haven't defined much. But it is fun to hear about experiences and how the differences in culture, because I know that a lot of people struggle with it. I know a bunch of people that don't know where they belong, especially like in the Netherlands where everything is diverse, but also not really in a way. I know a lot of people that don't know whether they should identify with their quote-unquote home country or are just completely Dutch now, or an in-between, or nothing. Man, I don't know. You decide that for yourself, but maybe it'll help someone out, you know?